Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And this little impromptu sound off child, ooh, I don't know. But let's get into it. So I was on YouTube and I came across a YouTuber by the name of It's Just Me, Rose Messy. Now I made sure to subscribe. You guys do the same. But the caption, or I guess the title of the video, is what caught my eye. And it says the Braxton's niece is accusing one of her auntie's partners of inappropriate behavior. And I was like, oh my God. So y'all know I reviewed the Braxton show that aired this summer. And there was a lot that was going on. It was a lot to watch it, you know, with the passing of Tracy and everything else that was going on. Tawanda and Tamar at war. It's a lot. And while I was watching it, I came across Ashlee Braxton. This is the niece that this video was about. Well, I came across an interview that she did a few years ago. I believe she mentioned her sister and her aunt's passing. So it's a few years old. But in that video, I never talked about it, I don't think. But in that video, she said a lot about the Braxton family and how they put a lot of things under the rug. She said that she felt as though her sister's passing stemmed from the family dysfunction and them constantly pushing issues under the rug and never wanting to address certain things and just not wanting to heal and move forward. So she said she had to get away from that. And that's been on my mind ever since I saw that. It just really didn't make me feel too good. So today, when I saw this video and the title saying that, you know, Ashlee Braxton is accusing one of her aunt's husbands of inappropriate behavior, and now her aunt doesn't speak to her anymore, baby, I don't know how to feel. That's why I'm here talking to y'all. So pretty much in the TikTok that Ashlee posted, she said that when she was 16, she and her sister at the time, Lauren, went to visit her aunt. And while she was with her aunt, or while they were with her aunt, something inappropriate happened between her and the uncle. And when she returned home, I believe her stepmother was looking through her things, looking through her phone, and she saw some messages that didn't look too right and confronted her and confronted the situation. And it was a whole thing. She said that her aunt was immediately sympathetic and felt really bad that the situation happened. But over the years, that aunt no longer speaks to her. And of course, y'all know me, the way my mind works, I need some answers, okay? So the first thing I did was go to the TikTok and watch the videos myself. I'm sorry for being messy, but I just need some, I need some clarity, just a little bit. So in Just Me, Rose Messy's video in the comments, a lot of people were speculating that they thought they were saying everybody. They said Tony, Tawanda, everybody. I think the only person that they excluded was Tracy, but they named all the sisters. But it kept coming back to Trina and Gabe. Somebody also said that in the TikTok videos under Ashlee's page that someone speculated it was Trina and Gabe, and she liked the comment. Well, of course, I went to her TikTok and I didn't quite see that unless I missed it. So I'm not sure about that one. But like when I tell y'all, like I'm all in these people's business on this Good Friday night, sorry, Lord, forgive me. But I just I need to understand some things, you know? So I started doing, some bee sting math, okay? So I remember in the interview that Ashlee did a couple of years ago that I watched on YouTube, Ashlee spoke about how when she turned 18, I think she was 18, she moved to LA to get away from her stepmom because she said her stepmom was abusive. And she said her father was abusive to her stepmother. So she got away from them by moving to LA. We all know that Tamar was in LA at the time, right? So she moved to LA, she said, with her aunt and uncle. And she said, my uncle was a music exec, so we know that's Tamar and Vince, right? The way she spoke about Tamar and Vince, I didn't indicate any kind of abuse or anything weird. So in my mind, I scratched Vince and Tamar off the list because I was like, yeah, I don't know. She even spoke about, I think she crashed their car or she did something crazy and they sent her back home to Maryland. But she was 18 when that happened. According to my calculations, I believe Ashlee is 32. So if she was 16 when the incident occurred, that mean that was 16 years ago when that happened. That would be 2008. That was before Braxton Family Values. So around that time, Toni's Vegas residency was canceled, and we all know that she was really sick around that time. So I don't think that she would have been hosting her two teenage nieces when she's going through all of that. On top of that, she has two kids of her own, and one needs, a little bit more attention. So I feel like we could kind of scratch Toni's name off the list as well. Then we have Tracy. Now, they all lived in Maryland together, so I don't imagine that they left to go spend time with Tracy. I feel like they were always around Tracy. Tracy helped raise them. They spoke about this often. So I feel like we can kind of scratch Tracy's name off the list as well. So that leaves Tawanda and Trina. Now, Tawanda was with Andre. She would have been with Andre around that time. I'm not quite sure when they got married, but I'm definitely guessing she would have been with Andre. And Trina would have been with Gabe. Yeah. So this is the thing, right? In one of the TikTok videos that Ashlee posted, she says that she's trying to move on. She wants to start a family of her own and have kids soon. I believe she's engaged. Ashlee's been living in Europe for a while. I think right now she lives in France. If you guys remember, she was Toni's assistant for a little bit, and then she just moved to Europe. Well, while she was in Europe, her sister passed away. I think she came for the funeral and she went back, and she hasn't been back to the States ever since. And so she says she's planning on coming back over here. I think in the early part of next year, sometime like that, I don't remember, but she plans on coming back, and she says she really wants to heal her family and relationships, and even possibly heal her aunt, that this happened with. Well, right there, we can definitely mark Tracy off the list, because if she's talking about this aunt in the present, then we know she couldn't possibly be talking about Tracy. So again, that leaves Tawanda and Trina. Now, Ashlee said in one of her videos that basically she watched her aunt's partner go through something very similar on the show. Like, she couldn't believe she was watching something very similar happen or play out on the show. Well, I don't remember Tawanda and Andre going through anything similar to this on the show. Like, pretty much when we met them, I think they were separated, but they were still living in the house together because he was the caretaker of the children while she was on the road with Toni, right? But they weren't really together, so he was allowed to date. So I feel like Tawanda is in the clear, and that only leaves Trina. We all saw that Gabe was acting a fool on that show. We saw that, I don't remember what season it was, but he was communicating with women online. He was doing different things. I don't even really remember everything that happened, because while we were watching this new installment of the Braxtons, other YouTubers pointed out some stuff that I think I must have missed. But the only person that was doing weird stuff on the show was Gabe. And I know that Gabe has passed away, so I really don't want to speak too badly on the dead, but damn, Gabe, if you did that, you were out of order. I mean, I really want to be careful what I'm saying, because she really did not say who it was, but I mean, just process of elimination leads me to believe that it's Gabe. I mean, the other people believe it's Gabe too, because as I'm sitting here, I'm like, Toni's ex-husband, Carrie, what we saw him maybe season 1, they were already broken up. I think they kind of was still seeing each other, but their relationship really didn't play out on the show. Him seeing other women really didn't play out on the show. I think we saw him like take care of her. I think Tony had a surgery. He was the one taking care of her. But like their relationships, we really didn't see too much of that. We saw her basically using him as an assistant. Like we really didn't see their relationship play out. Tamar and Vince, they had some struggle, but we never saw Vince communicating with other women. Like the cheating situation, that wasn't their storyline. Again, Tawanda and Andre were already separated. They weren't together. They kind of was like, they really weren't together. I think they tried to give it another go, but they were pretty much done. Tracy and her husband did have some issues, but again, their relationship did not play out on the show. And we really didn't see much of Kevin Sr. until like maybe the last couple of seasons. And I think that's because he was kind of there to be a buffer for Tracy, to kind of calm Tracy down so she didn't explode on nobody. But as far as their relationship, we really didn't see it play out. I feel like they talked about it on Marriage Boot Camp. I didn't really watch too much of that. Like I peeped my head in, but I really didn't watch it. But as far as the show, they didn't really show Tracy and Kevin's, like, I don't know. The only person that really looks like it could be is Trina and Gabe. Because Gabe was doing weird stuff on the internet. Remember when Tamar went down the line on all the siblings, all the sisters' husbands, and she was like, you got a cheater. You got a man that can't never keep no job. You got a man that want to live off of you. You got a computer whiz. Remember she was saying all of that? She said that about Gabe. You got a computer whiz. Because he was on the internet doing weird stuff. Gabe. Oh my God. These men will embarrass you even after they're dead? Oh my God. I mean, I really don't want to harp on that too much. I feel bad for Ashlee. Like, before I end this video, I definitely want to say that I feel bad for Ashlee because she's carrying this burden of like, what did I do wrong? Or like, I think she knows that she didn't do anything wrong, but I think for maybe a long time she felt that way. And for her to say that her aunt currently does not speak to her, that's hurtful. That's hurtful because if you know anything about Ashlee Braxton, that is Michael Braxton Jr.'s daughter. Her aunts literally, I think she has spoken on this several times, that her grandmother and her aunts raised her, took care of her. So for her to not have a good relationship with her aunt, that sucks. Because she doesn't have that with her mother. Like her mother wasn't in her life. Her stepmother was, but her stepmother was also, she says her stepmother was abusive. I wasn't there. I'm just telling y'all what I heard. She claims that her stepmother was abusive towards her. So her aunts really are like her moms. So for one of the aunts to not be speaking to you because of something that their man did, because I mean, she didn't say exactly what happened, but I think we can kind of connect the dots. You know, when you're 16 and you're popping and you look good, some of these disgusting creeps that we call men, some of them, because not all of them are like that, but some of them are, they don't know how to act. They see a young girl and they do not realize like, hey, that is a child. Absolutely not. You do not mess with a kid. Some of them, their good senses don't work because I don't know. Their mamas dropped them on the head. I don't know what's wrong. But I can definitely relate to what Ashlee is saying. I know what that feels like. I've been in that situation way too many times. I know how to navigate it, and that's crazy. Like, I should not know how. That's not something that should be happening. It really, really shouldn't. But I definitely know what it feels like to be in the company of someone you're supposed to trust. They're supposed to be family. They're an adult. They're supposed to have your best interest at heart. They're supposed to help protect you. I've been in that situation a couple of times. Even as an adult, I remember a few years after my parents passed away, I went to visit a family member and her baby daddy offered to walk me to my car. I didn't ask him to, but he did. And like, I've literally known him since I was a little girl. So I didn't, I didn't think too much of it, but my antennas did kind of go up a little bit. Like, why are you walking me to my car? But then again, sometimes people just feel a certain way. Like, I know that sometimes when I'm around family, they feel bad for me because they think about, my mom and dad are not here. So, I kind of was like, okay, maybe he's just being nice, whatever. We get to the car and he starts talking something different. And I was just like, you mother... I could not believe this was happening because it was just like, bruh, you literally know me since I was a child, a small child. And why would you ever try to do that? Why? And it made me feel bad because I was like, dang, because you know that my parents are passed. So you see me as unprotected and you try to take, your chance. You try to shoot your shot. How dare you? And one thing about me, when I sense unwanted advances, especially from people that are, certain people especially, I become very, very, very mean. Very mean. And it's like, that has protected me. That is my defense mechanism. Like, don't try me. When I sense some foolery going on in that type of way, I'm nothing to play with. But long story short, I ended up curving him, getting in my car, and taking off. And I didn't bother to say anything to my cousin because I was just kind of like, girl, I don't know. I'm one of those people that I feel like you know who your partner is. And for as long as they've been together, girl, you know how he is. You know how he is. So I feel like I know if I had said something that was going to probably cause some weird energy within the family. And I didn't want all that drama. Like, I didn't ask for none of that. I didn't want any of it. And so I didn't want to deal with it. I simply didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want the drama, the fallout, the recollection, the whole turning it into like a case of me defending myself. I just didn't want to have to go through any of that. But I did later on tell one of my aunts, my dad's little sister, that's my girl. I could tell her everything, okay? I ain't got to worry about her saying nothing that is, our aunts play different roles for us. I have my aunts that's like my mama. Got my aunts that's like, an aunt. Got your aunts that you probably don't talk to that much. You got your aunties that you can hit up for advice. This particular aunt, I could literally tell her any and everything. That is my gossip partner. Like, we locked in, okay? I love her dearly. But I told her, because I knew she wasn't going to tell nobody. Why she tell me he did the same thing to her? I was like, wow. So, yeah, I wasn't tripping. This is just who he is. This is who he is. I clearly didn't do anything. I didn't give him no eye. I didn't give him no invitation to come at me. This is just who this man is. Trash, pure trash. Basura. That's what he is. But yeah, some men are just like that. Like, to me, I think that's like the worst kind, because if you a cheater, be a cheater. Like, I guess, do what you do. But to mess with someone's niece, your brother-in-law's daughter, that's really sick. And especially in Ashlee's situation, she is vulnerable. She was a kid. She has issues with her mom. Her family is a little rocky. And that's who you decided to prey upon. I don't care how beautiful she looked. I don't care how good her body, how toned she is. That was a kid. That was your wife's niece. And I'm assuming it was Gabe. Okay, but if it wasn't Gabe, whichever one of the sisters' men it was, you out of order. And if it wasn't Gabe, I'm going to have to come back and apologize. But, all the signs are pointing to Gabe. So, it just is what it is. But yeah, I really felt bad for Ashlee. Like, don't nobody want to deal with this. And to carry this around for however many years, it's been 16 years. That's a long time. Yeah. Y'all just had to come down here and talk to y'all about it because I just couldn't believe it. I knew there was something up with this family. When I was watching this last installment of the Braxtons, a lot of things were unearthed. And it's like the show that I once enjoyed that was so funny and light. And, I love singing. I love music. So I used to love watching them sing and just carry on. This installment of it was very dark. It was very heavy. And while I was watching it, I told y'all I watched this interview with Ashlee Braxton, and a lot of other things were revealed. I know I said in one of my reviews on the show, one of my sound offs, I mentioned that, wow, Michael Braxton Jr. is so unproblematic. All his sisters be bickering and it's always some drama with them. And then I promise, right after I said that in the review, this interview popped up on my, suggested videos where his own daughter is saying he was abusive towards her stepmother. And I was just like, wow, the moment you start praising a man, they will embarrass you. Yeah, I knew it was some stuff going on with them. And I don't know. Child. I know we all got stuff going on in our family, so I'm not judging them at all. I'm definitely not judging them. But this just did not make me feel too good to hear this story. But yeah, I just want to send out good energy to Ashlee, because how much does that suck? You ran away across the country, not across the country. You ran away on the other side of the world to escape. Like, that is really sad. I don't know, but I'm just sending best wishes to Ashlee Braxton. Hopefully, she gets the desired effect, desired results from whatever it is that, she sets out to do with this whole, healing and healing her family, because this was a lot. And I'm only been sitting with this for, maybe an hour. She's been dealing with this for years. I will say this though, like, if it turns out it was Gabe or one of the other sisters' husband, I'm going to be looking at the Braxtons a little crazy, because y'all have all this venom towards Tracy's husband, and one of y'all men did something like this. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for listening to me rant, because this really got to me. But yeah, see y'all in the next video.